very please. You are running out of time, and break is over. The remaining time to wind up. Hello, please. Lend us your ear, please.
For your presentation, your title is Determinants Factors Affecting Graduate Student Entrepreneurial Intention. I think both determinants and factors, they take the variables of the dependent variable. So better to use one of the terms, either determinant or factors affecting. The other is you have used, as I have seen, important variables to measure this interpretation. Out of those variables, one of your variables is that entrepreneurial education. The new curriculum, especially degree students, they are supposed to take this entrepreneurial education. The government also has declared or suggested to take all students this entrepreneurship education. So, how much this entrepreneurship education contributes to entrepreneurial education than the other variables? Because nowadays, either TPT or universities, colleges, most students are taking this entrepreneurship education. So how much it contributes to start their own businesses by the students? This is one question. The other is regarding recommendation. You are using that the policymakers should make this. The college should do this. You have recommended, you have suggested like this. I think better to use simple expressions than these forceful words. Rather than saying should, better to use advising, the researcher advises that, the researcher suggests that, better to use these simple expressions, simple words, than using that of should, forceful words or expressions. Thank you, moderator.
Especially the variable you have used. As you know from the literature, theory of planned behavior is well-known theory for such intention study. And you have included subjective norm as only one variable from theory of planned behavior. And other two variables like perceived behavioral control as well as personal attitudes was excluded from university. So my question is, do you have any research related reason why you have excluded two important variables of theory of planned behavior? Thank you very much. This is my question.
Thank you. Research. All right.
It's really difficult. Thank you so much. My questions are directly related to the objectives of the study and the research design. He's willing to use descriptive plus explanatory, but I doubt whether
descriptive receptive design is compatible with this title or not, because it's directly related to measuring effect, and then how we're going to measure effects in descriptive research should be questioned. The second, related to the concept of interpretorial intention, the first important thing is we need to have a measurement standard. The measurement standard in terms of the knowledge that they have to address entrepreneurship and decision criteria in terms of their year of entry at their university or secondary service, because it will be very important to measure the understanding that he or she have about the subject matter, right? For instance, if that's a good. Okay. Okay, let me finish my question and then we can manage the process. My last issue is directly related to the nature of the issue and the time by which interpersonal subjects are going to be given to the students. Right? I think that's what
second question we have is regarding the standardized questionnaire and pilot test. In your presentation, you have said that you have used standardized questionnaire, and then later you have said that you have conducted a pilot test. So can we have a pilot test for standardized questionnaires? The other issues I have is comments on having research question and hypothesis. It's better if you have only research hypothesis instead of having all research question, specific objectives and hypothesis, because your study is quantitative. The other point we have is regarding the regression. You have the overall presentation having regarding the findings. Starting from the descriptive statistics, you have used mean. Your questionnaire is likely scale of the questions are dependent, limited variables, like you have 5 values, 1, 2, 3, and 5. So for such kind of questions, I don't think that parametric estimation techniques, parametric evaluation analysis is appropriate. So instead of mean for descriptive statistics, it's better if you use median, because your data is not continuous, for sure, yes. Then the correlation analysis you made is still appropriate for continuous data, not for limited values, like at scale or other data, yes. So instead of percent correlation matrix, it's better to use Spearman's correlation matrix. Even the regression analysis you have conducted, the multiple linear regression is not appropriate for such kind of ordered data or like scale questions. So it's better to use the non-parametric estimation technique, non-parametric analysis techniques to address the questions. This is a comment I have regarding the analysis of the taking times.
So let me summarize the question. First, you are not supposed to answer all the questions we have. You can take as this some of the comments we have. So let me start from the first one. Addis, can you hear me? Let me summarize the question and then we'll get back. Sure. Okay, the first thing we have is related to your title, you have redundancy issue, so can you redefine the title, right? The first thing we have. And second thing, you have one factor, you want to give emphasis, like entrepreneurial education. So can you tell us a bit detail about this effect? That's the second question from the first. We do have one interesting factor, that is entrepreneurial education, and we want to know the detail about its effects. And the other thing is comment, okay? So we can take that's word choice.
Challenges. Managers are expected to become dynamically capable, one. And again, they have to develop the culture of entrepreneurial mindset. And these two variables may advance or boost the quality of managers in their entire business. But as you know, the concept of management is getting something done through the efforts of the group of individuals who are around their circle, right? Therefore, the dynamic capability that the manager has, and again the entrepreneurial mindset that the management staff have alone doesn't solve the problem. So we have to go towards the concept called dynamic capability, towards the employee, and again measuring their own entrepreneurial mindset, the understanding that they have. Because the working environment that we have is basically characterized by a very hectic demand, which cannot be simply satisfied by the effort, the simple effort that we can make in our entire business. And I think even the diversified workforce that we have, the rapid development in terms of culture, in terms of technology, in terms of application of several processes and systems to organize and companies. And again, these all have their own effect on the target of the organization. In one way or another, while we try to manage an entity, we may have our own objective, right? But the objective can be survival. The objective can be gaining profit. The objective can be creating brand awareness in the overall business scenario. Whatever the objective that we have is, the most important element is having the quality to address the admirable expectation from our customer. And this is obviously a result of the effort made by our employees, right? Therefore, measuring the employees' dynamic capability and aligning this concept with entrepreneurial mindset is very important. The question here is how this issue, the issue of dynamic capability and the issue of entrepreneurial orientation is directly related with the brewery industry, right? This can be questioned because we have different industries, like the service industry, manufacturing, and the others. And why this study focused on the brewery industry? Look, before the previous years, the concern of the brewery industry gets a very detailed understanding and support from the side of the government. But nowadays, several policies, several guidelines and directives of the government are against the target of the brewery industry. Look, for example, among the different elements which may advance the quality of operation in the brewery industry is promotion, right? And advertisement using television is already prohibited by the government policy related to time limit, right? And this can be considered as a challenge for the brewery industry. And even if it is not socially undesirable by its nature, the brewery industry is still considered as a social class standardizing content or element which may help us to categorize us like the one who drink trash and the one who drink beer can simply be different, right? We don't have standards related to consuming given brewery products. The other dimension here is, among the different beverage industries in the different contexts, 90% of the revenue is a result of the brewery industries. This is also another important element which may help the researcher to conduct this concept, dynamic capability and entrepreneurial orientation in the brewery industry. On the other dimension, as you can simply understand from our own personal observation, the brewery factories are operating day and night, and we are also observing the new factories in this context, the concern of job creation, the issue of gaining advantage from supply, the income, reducing the unemployment rate, and advancing the tax generation from side of the government and other issues are a result of the priori operation. Therefore, when we come to the exact problem statement related to when we come to the problem statement, look, the issue of employee dynamic capability by itself is very challenging. Who is even capable enough? Look, especially in the current context, we have several issues which may significantly affect the process of measuring individuals' capability, right? Can we going to measure individuals' capability in terms of age? Is it workable in our context? Which is questionable, right? Or on the other dimension, are we going to measure individuals' capability in terms of experience? It can also be questionable, right? Because someone who has a blend of experience will not be productive. Someone who is considered as fresh, he can be energetic and he may give something important for the organization. Therefore, having a standard to measure individual capability is questionable and challenging by its nature. So it needs a big concern when we come to the problem statement. Therefore, look, these three important elements, right? Business activities nowadays are becoming what? Very challenging. Therefore, managers at different levels, at the top, at the middle, and at the operational level, have to have a bit understanding about the concept of capability in order to address this dynamically changing environment. Two, competitive environment is common and expected. While we are assigned to manage an entity, competition is expected. But nowadays, the competition by its nature is very puzzling and challenging. That's why when someone is saying that top management, he will be challenged by different factors, and then he may lose his weight, and then he may reduce the social time that he has with his families, children, and other group of individuals, right? Due to the hectic question that he has in his mind. And this sustainable development and gaining advantage from the working environment becomes an issue for managerial tasks, right? Because the environment may give us a challenge, and at the same time, it may give us opportunity. Therefore, in order to change the challenge into opportunity, additional elements are very important, right? The capability of an individual and the organizational expectation. In the same time, the issue of customers at the back, meaning the question of the customers at the back, because all product, service, everything that we are expected to have are a result of what? The demand of the customer, right? And then this process, in order to address this whole question of the organization, employees can play a very significant role, right? Because the human capital is actually considered as the largest asset in order to advance level of productivity and other important issues. That's the issue of dynamic capability. But when we come to entrepreneurial orientation, it is a result of autonomy by which employees are expected to become autonomous in their day-to-day operation. And again, it is also a result of innovative behavior and character from the side of the employee, which is also a result of autonomy, right? If employees are autonomous to do whatever they want in their day-to-day operation, they can bring something new. That's called innovation, right? And the third one, in the process of bringing something new, employees have to develop the culture of risk-taking. Because when we try to bring something new, we may be successful or dangerous, right? So risk-taking should be their culture. In all these three basic processes, employees are expected to become proactive. Proactive innovativeness, proactive creativity, proactive understanding, proactive decision, proactive risk-taking is very important, right? Finally, this whole process should have its own contribution to the overall success of the organization. Because as I've told you earlier, the target of the organization can be survival, and then in order to survive, we are supposed to win the game, right? That's called competition. In order to win the competition, our autonomous process, our innovative process, our risk-taking process, and again, our proactive decision need to have its own contribution to the overall aggressive competition model of the organization. That's the overall aspects related to the GAP statement, right? Let me go to the objective. It is obviously clear, especially for those who come from the discipline called management. dynamic capability is the result of three common noun dimensions, right? Sensing capability, meaning simply understanding what is going on in both internal and external environment. And then seizing capability, trying to align the observer capability from both internal and external environment with the resources that we have. The human resource, the financial resource, and the material resources should be aligned with the opportunities that we have from the external environment. And finally, we have to work towards reconfiguring, changing this knowledge and understanding, changing this alignment into action, trying to change challenges into opportunity, and then trying to effectively utilize the opportunities that we can have from the external environment. These three are my own concerns, right? In order to measure the effect of sensing capability on entrepreneurial mindset of the employees, and again, in order to measure the effect of seizing capability, and again, reconfiguring, right? Having this in mind, this conceptual framework is actually designed in your mind, right? While I dictate about the objective, it is simple to understand the framework. On the basis of the three dimensions of dynamic capability, these three hypotheses are already designed. Sensing capability have significant effect on entrepreneurial orientation, seizing, and again, reconfiguring their own effect on entrepreneurial orientation. When we come to the methodology, it is obviously clear. When we plan to measure effect, the philosophy is expected to become positive, having single reality, and that single reality is expected to measure in terms of objective measurement, objective standards, and this should be supported by a design goal explanatory, and this should be aligned with quantitative approach. Again, these are the population, the employees of selected behavioral factors, basically BGI Ethiopia, Heineken, and then Habesha beer factor, right? The data collection is obviously having closing the question, and the analysis is expected to be quantitative analysis by using structural equation. Therefore, when we come to the result investigation, as you know, the concern of quantitative research is measuring validity and reliability. In order to proceed to the next analysis, we have to check whether the data is valid and reliable, and again, go to the model bit so as to go to the further analysis process. And therefore, data reliability was also tested through outer-body, the compact alpha, the composite reliability, the average variance extracted, and the low. And again, the validity is also tested through cross-body, the larger criteria, and the HM, meaning the heterotariate to multivariate ratio, right? So as to measure whether the data is valid. By using these all criteria, all the data doesn't have any question of anything relevant. Therefore, we can simply proceed to the model analysis, you could structural model analysis. As you can simply guess from the nature of the structural equation model, you have two phases. Before directly going to the final model analysis, you have to. The first one, the researcher is supposed to go through the initial phase analysis in order to measure whether all the constructs and the questions raised by the researcher are valid, reliable, in terms of addressing the intended objective. And then through the process, the researcher is supposed to remove items which are below 0.5 factor loading this, and then come up with the final decision. Right? This is a result from this whole process. This is basically what the final structural model analysis in line with the hypothesis I already explained. Some of you may be confused why you see the R square of the relationship is 0.47. As this is also stated by Amina in the first presentation. In a regression model analysis, sometimes the issue of R or R square, meaning the power of the independent variable and the dependent one, is expected to be higher, meaning above 0.5. But when we come to structural equation modeling, the minimum standard for R square is expected to be 0.2, 0.22 and above. Still, this is not actually the final decision that may help us to make conclusion about the network of relationship between the independent and the dependent variable. What matters more is the effect size, and again the issue of Q square, that's the predictive relevance of the model by itself, meaning the predictive power and relevance of the independent variable and the dependent one, which is explained by the F square and again the Q square value, right? But the most important element here is the result related to the hypothesis testing. When we come to the mass coefficient, it is a result of the model summary, the ANOVA, and again the final issue. So the mass coefficient, you have three hypotheses. The issue of seizing capability, sensing capability, and reconfiguring and their effect on interpreneural application. All the three hypotheses are accepted because the p-value, the t+x, and again the standard deviation is obviously important us to accept the stated hypothesis as valuable parameter to measure whether there is effect relationship, positive relationship and effect in between the dependent and independent variable. When we come to the discussion part, I have two major concerns. The first discussion component directly goes to the different results, meaning different empirical studies, which may address whether these three dimensions of dynamic capability have their own effect on interpreneural orientation or not, meaning the overall, these three dimensions at large. The second discussion goes to the specific parameters, meaning the specific dimensions are known. Does sensing, seizing, and reconfiguring alone have their own effect on interpreneural? Both things are supported by different discussions, meaning the combined effort of dynamic capability have its own effect on interpreneural orientation. And again, individual dimensions of dynamic capability, meaning sensing, alone have its own effect on interpreneural orientation because it is the result of seizing and reconfiguring are the result of sensing, and then reconfiguring capability is the result of seizing. Therefore, the combined effort of these three dimensions have their own effect on interpreneural orientation. So what? That can be my answer, right? That's totally good recognition. I do have three hypotheses, and then the hypotheses are already tested, and then the result is in right. So what will be the concern of the management staff, the concern of the business entities, and again the concern of managing the brewery industry. Therefore, employees and managers in the organization are expected to address the changes in the working environment by advancing their level of understanding through sensing, and then advancing their own alignment capabilities through seizing. And then managers have worked the culture of supporting their employees while they are trying to bring something in their business through reconfiguring capability. That's one important recommendation for the business entities. The second one, in order to survive long in the business process, winning competition is a must. If we fail to win the competition, we can survive in this very dynamic working environment. Therefore, in order to win the competitive business environment, it is advisable to work with our own employees. The quality of the management staff, the quality of the material resource, and even the finance that we invest in our business alone doesn't help us to win the competition. It is a result of the admirable capability of our employees. Therefore, we have to work towards advancing their capability in order to win the competition. The third one, managers of the brewery industry are expected towards advancing the level of understanding, right? We may have a blend of experience related to managing different business entities, but this experience sometimes can be productive or can be the reverse due to the existing changes in the business environment. The technology is dramatically changing. Even the understanding level and culture that we have due to the diversified work effort that we have can also be challenging element for the managers to even manage their own day-to-day operation. Therefore, additional efforts are expected from the managers in order to advance their own understanding and again the knowledge of their employees through training and other important instruments. Thank you so much. This is what I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tasfaye. Please, Mr. Grima, come here. And directly we proceed to question and answer. So, Mr. Please come. Okay, so the first presenter is Mr. Durmayalo, and the question is just for Mr. Durma. Please, any question and comments?
Appreciates both presenters.
Or the hypothesis is not rejected, yes. So I'm not clear whether you have developed examined hypothesis or alternate hypothesis so that the conclusions are made will be understood easily. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Thank you, guests, for your questions. Okay. I have also the question for Mr. Gurma, especially the methodology part. Sequential explanatory means there is some sequence to be qualitative and quantitative, quantitative and qualitative. Please, would you clarify us what you have done using sequential explanatory, and where is the sequence, where is the qualitative issue? So this is the issue. Please focus on the questions raised, and let's start.
Thank you for giving me some construct comments and questions you raised. The first thing, there is a misunderstanding. When I said, when I shared the content of my documents, you only took my final research abstract part. That is the pragmatic parts, quantitative and qualitative. That is abstract is only taken from this. But my question, my presentation is only the quantitative part. That is sequential. Quantitative, sequential, quantitative, dominantly quantitative with supported by qualitative. That is already told. Here for clarification. The second question, which variable has highest effect? When I show model confirmatory pattern analysis measurement model, I showed each construct values the highest. To show each and every construct which has the highest value, I will not much time, ample time. That was the major point. I didn't show each and every which variables are the highest, which one is the median, which one is the lowest. I didn't show, but graphically show. Therefore, when knowledge creation and knowledge acquisition has the highest loading value for measuring organizational performance. Because in this institution, we call it Harari, there are an ambition. Employees and managers are a certain ambition to entertain, to employ knowledge acquisition as per their vision, as per their objective. But in terms of transferability, there is impact, I told you. And there is also technical experts. I didn't took each and every employee because managers and technical staffs are the major concern for the institution. Therefore, technical staffs, the researchers may say, since it is a research institute, therefore they are doing or transferring their knowledge for the end users. We call it the farmers. Still, it's an old extension method. By default, they just took their acquisition, their adoption of technology from a certain era or from their adaptation. Sometimes technology can be adapted, sometimes adopted. Anyway, whatever the case, they transfer their adaptability and adaptability of that technology for their farmers as an old extension method. Still, they remains more sophisticated method of technology. That is the other part. The next organizational learning has three major dimensions: knowledge management, managerial commitment, so openness and system perspective. In my conclusion and recommendation, I told you there is much more openness. They are open to do something. They are open to perform more. but in terms of managerial aspects, their role is still infant. But to explain this each and every dimensions, I don't have time, I say that. And for knowledge management, organizational performance, the dimension productivity has the highest value, but in terms of service giving and research and development, still there is low value because the loading value is nearly 50, 53, 54, and 63 value. That is the major concern. The next one. My contribution is one, to fill empirical gap. The next one, to assess whether it is implemented or not. I have checked over there. There is an implementation, there is some sort of adoption, some sort of adaptation, but the point is, since it is a knowledge-intensive area, by default, since it is a knowledge-intensive area, we expect more and more. But as I assess, as I investigate the research over there, I couldn't get as far as the expected level. Therefore, my contribution is to give more advice, to give more suggestions for future researchers and for practitioners for the near futures. The third question, H2 measurements, which comes first? Knowledge management or professional learning. I told you that 3 or 4 major things. There are different points over there. Somebody authors say that for knowledge management is a prerequisite of professional learning, while some authors are suggested professional learning is a prerequisite of knowledge management, while some others are. It is complementary. But in the recent debate, lastly, one of the authors suggested that in 2016, it's the mantra. Professional learning is a dynamic capability. Now, professional learning is dynamic capability. Has that can integrate the knowledge process groups and professional performance. Therefore, we therefore have decided that this should be the final, the research aspects of the concepts that can help us to suggest or decide knowledge management is a prerequisite of professional learning. The next question, who takes value affects? I told you before. Recommendation partially. According to her Hayes Addis, I told you that 2022, they conducted research and their theoretical aspects, their models, their frames has shown us, research 2022, the research study has shown that their models is if the value of the relation lies positive with a non-zero. If there is a zero value, that means the low level is positive, the upper level is negative, it touches one, the zero value. Therefore, in this case, no relation, we cancel it. If it is negative value, there are different types of relation in their models, I told you that. But here, my result lies on a positive result with non-zero value. Proving that such a kind of relation is a partial relation. Partial relation is not full relation, but it can be capable of performing knowledge. It's better to study adding correctional learning to study what? Knowledge management. To boost correctional performance. Therefore, it can an encouragement as support. That's we call it partial relation. I didn't say that point, that word is. The word is said by partial relation. It is a model, types of model. The inconsistency of findings, I will solve it. Two-stage cluster summary. As I told you, there are 7 research centers in different Amhara region. Therefore, when I took samples from there are cluster sampling. If I took all technical experts and managers in 7 research centers, such a kind of taking data is cluster sampling. But here, there are a number of workers over there. I took from each of the 7 research centers such a kind of that designing the data is two-stage sampling. There are cluster first, then I select some of them from one using simple random sampling from each of every cluster, each subset, each center. Therefore, such a kind of taking the sample is called two-stage sampling. That's why I say two-stage cluster sampling. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grima, for your answer. Now let's proceed to Aspire.
Thank you so much. I think this kind of session is very important, right? You talk once our goals and understanding actually related to methodology and answer several issues. Thank you so much. Look, the comments are very critical and I have to accept related to managerial issues. It is not even advisable to recommend for managers without asking them about the issue. Thank you so much. And then I will include a review about the case because this is the only article that I have in my PhD dissertation which is not published. Therefore, I will incorporate the issues and then I will advance the value of the article. Related to the hypothesis, the method alternative, having this kind of comment, especially from those who comes from economics, is very important, right? We managers are actually very poor to understand this kind of critical points. But we are still trying, actually, I'm trying my best, not we, because we have several professors who are capable enough to critically understand the points. And I will also read on the areas related to the knowledge alternative, which should come first and then which come second. It is still debatable, but I will go into. Related to the question of Dr. Abdul, I think if I'm not mistaken, concerning to the analysis, my first plan was to apply PACE, meaning the propensity score matching. And then while I tried to collect data from the respondents, I was very challenged by the group of individuals who are assigned at the operational task in the very industries, and then who are assigned in the supervisory level in order to measure the match between the two. And then I immediately shift to the special focus of the employees who are specifically assigned for operation, meaning the operation of the beer production. Then I can directly go to the structural equation modeling and then testing hypothesis through R squared and F squared, meaning the power of the independent variable, the dependent one, the effect size and the effect relevance, simply by using these three models. When it comes to the issue of Doppler models related to sensing capabilities and significant. Actually, it is significant in my presentation. I may make a mistake while I try to explain it, that was the case. But in the finding, it is actually significant. The three dimensions are significant to measure interpretive orientation. I think this is all the issue that I have. Thank you so much.
Okay, actually the hypothesis, the way you the question raised by Amina is about hypothesis. So, which hypothesis was so far tested? Alternative or null hypothesis? That's the question.
Right, in my case, the alternative hypothesis is tested.
Just to enrich the document. Yeah, so null hypothesis should be written, then should be tested. Then if the p-value is less than 5%, which means as you started, you will reject it. Rejecting means it's null. Null will be rejected. Null is rejected means that doesn't have significant evidence. So it's rejected, it will have significant just still rejected.
Papers will be moderated by me. The first presenter is Tasfaya Gabramajan. Tasfaya. Tasfai Abdullah, if you are here. Tasfai Abu or Abdullah Bosa. Or Akhido? Akhido? Is about value chain analysis, their product, the case of Chencha or Gamozo, southern Ethiopia. So as it is said by the conference organizers, presenter you will have 15 minutes for presentation. Because of the time pressure, you have to use your time properly. Within 15 minutes, better to finish it. And for asking questions and raising comments and giving feedbacks for that, 10 minutes is enough. So better to act accordingly to finish within time.
My name is Abdullah from Ababa University. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizing committee for giving this chance to me to present my research output. The topic says that failure value chain analysis, the case of Chencha Kamozon, South Ethiopia. And as an introduction, Ethiopia has a leading livestock population in Africa and fifth in the world. And also, this sector plays vital role in overall development of the country's economy. Yet the existing income generating capacity of livestock and livestock product as compared to its potential in the country has not been exploited. Dairy production is crucial in as milk and milk product is important source of food and income. Despite the huge potential, dairy production has not fully exploited and promoted in the country. A number of factors such as use of traditional practice, limited supply of input, and adequate extension service, poor marketing infrastructure, poor market information, and limited credit service have contributed to the low exploitation of this sector. Therefore, ensuring the resilience of dairy farmers to rapidly changing market is a key policy issue. The Jancha Warada has a high potential of dairy production, marketing and consumption, but there was no ample information about the dairy value chain. Therefore, availing crucial information is believed to help development practitioners and other stakeholders will use the information generated for intervention purpose. However, in the state area, there was no study conducted on the issues related to dairy farming. To fill this information gap, this study was able to analyze dairy value chain in the state area. Objective of the study, here are three specific objectives. The first one, to identify main actors and their role in the dairy value chain. In the study area, the second one, to identify the milk market outlets or channels and amount of milk distributed to each consumer, and the third one, to identify constraints and opportunities of dairy value chain in the study area. As a methodology, a cross-sectional descriptive research design was used in this study, and then probability sampling methods were also employed. And the first Chancha Warada was selected particularly due to its potential in the dairy production, and secondly, out of 50 cabalets found in Chancha Warada, 5 cabalets were selected particularly due to its potential in the dairy production. The total of 135 producers who have at least one lactating cow, local or cross-breed, and those of who member in the dairy cooperative were purposely included in this study. 7 traders, among them 7 wholesalers, 10 local collector, and 20 retailers were selected through a snowball or referral sampling method. SME structure questionnaire, key informant interview, and focus group discussion were employed, and descriptive tasks like frequency, percent, and mean were used to analyze the socio-economic and demographic characteristics of the respondent and amount of milk flow through each market outlet. Finally, the identified main actors in the dairy value chain. The first identified actors were individual dairy producers. The dairy producers in the study area were mainly comprised smallholder farmers. They characterized as follows: the breed type raised by most of sample farmers were cross or improved, mainly Holstein, Breda, and Jersey, which accounts around 72%. According to the FGD, the herd size per household for local breed was decreasing from time to time, and that of improved breed was increasing. The average number of lactating cows per household was around 1.87, and the average daily milk yield per local breed was 1.2 liter, which was less than the national average. The national average milk yield per local cow per day per liter, which around 1.9, and from the highland area, which accounts 2.3 liter per day, which is an average of the highland. But this is below the average of the highland as well as the national average. And weight per the improved breed was around 11.5 liter from the morning and evening per day. This is something similar with the national average. And the feeding practices of the study area was dominated by semi-grazing, which accounted 68%, and remaining 31.9% were practiced zero grazing. In the area, farmers use different materials for milk handling, which accounts 20% have used plastic material and around 40% have used aluminum material, and around 65% have used both plastic and aluminum material for milk handling. About 4.8% of farmers have used vehicle for like motor vehicle and bajaj and car for the milk transportation purpose from the production center to the consumer area. So this is what I have said earlier, and this about the information about the what I said earlier. And the second actors in the dairy value chain were dairy cooperatives. The dairy cooperative was involved mainly in banking raw milk from members and non-members and sell fresh milk for the consumer in Chancha and Aramin town. Additionally, they have processing and changing the whole milk into butter and arera and sale for individual consumers and for their members, back to their members. Out of the total marketable whole milk, which was account 8% from the morning and evening milk production, that produced by farmer per day, around 57% was received at the collection center by the Tolola Dairy Cooperative. The dairy cooperative mostly sell fresh milk for the wholesaler, hotel and cafeteria. They also process and sell butter, arera and yogurt for the individual consumer at Chancha town and back to their members. The third actor, local collectors, and also were one of the important actors in the dairy value chain. And the other one, wholesalers, also there. And the fifth one, retailer, and the sixth one, hotel and counter, and the seventh one, individual consumers. So there were four main products consumed by the individual consumer in the state area: fresh milk, arera, yogurt, and butter for edible and for the cosmetic purpose. And the identified milk marketing outlet or channels in the state area, there were 5 milk market outlets that were identified in the state area. Milk distributors through producer, Tolola Dairy Cooperative, wholesaler, collector, and retailers. And this map shows at the dairy value chain map, and in this map there is the supportive actors is there, and the main actors like producer or smaller farmers there. Under the processing, there is a Tolola Dairy Cooperative is there, and under the consumption, hotel and cafeteria and individual consumer and enabling environment is also under this dairy value chain map. And the identified constraints in the dairy value chain, low quality and timeliness of the artificial insemination services, which is associated with the production constraints, and shortage of feed, also associated with the production problem, and lack of proper storage facilities associated with handling, and the lack of proper churner, which is related with something processing, and the lack of refrigerated truck associated with the transportation of the milk, and poor milk handling, poor quality control. There is an adulteration problem and absence of quality-based payment related with marketing, weak vertical linkage between cooperatives and the potential buyer, also marketing problem and existence of unlicensed trade also related with the marketing constraints. So this is the picture taken during the data collection. Something shows us the poor handling of milk, poor processing of milk, and poor storage facility of the milk by the dairy cooperative.
Sorry, Arjo.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes, so you can
speak. And the identified opportunities for the dairy value chain development, good policy roadmap that aims at bringing the desired change in the livestock sector, and also better road access to address high milk demand at the Aramin town and favorable agroecological condition for the dairy production in the area and the presence of improved pool service by the Tolola Kaliwat project. These are an opportunities in the area. As a conclusion, it was evidenced that the poor feeding system was partly attributed to the high cost of the industrial byproduct and less awareness of farmers about the positive gain associated with this improved feeding system. Therefore, in order to create awareness and skill-based trade development in the state area, it is better to provide training for dairy producer on the feed formulation and feed preservation practice. To minimize constraints associated with milk handling and processing, the concerned body should give a capacity building training for on yield quality control, handling, storage, and transportation, as well as provide material support for dairy cooperatives. To overcome constraints associated with milk marketing, the stakeholders should play a vital role in creation of market linkage among actors and legalizing the unlicensed trade in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Arpita. Satisfied or Abdullah Kosa?
Thank you for your comments and some questions. I think yours is already solved. Okay. I am responding on the question raised by the second participant. Which channel farmers prefer? Because of from our sample Kabbalah, most of producers, including under the dairy cooperative, which is called the Tolola Dairy Cooperative. So they can simply support, provide their evening and morning milk for their cooperative rather than selling for the individual consumer or individual traders. So because of they have a share on the cooperative, so they prefer to directly provide the product to the dairy cooperative. And the other thing is there is high cost of the feeding, which was the feed they obtained from the industrial product like frushka, we call it. There's high cost, but due to that, which farmers use the locally available feed sources for their dairy cow. So still there is a shortage. So as an intervention or as a community service, the concerned bodies should provide the improved dairy feeds and also provide training how to preserve and how to produce those improved dairy feeds for the area, and also as a technology to increasing the value or adding the value of the dairy, not only increasing the value and also controlling the quality. So we advise that the lactometer should be provided to dairy cooperative. So the dairy cooperative simply by observation, by visual observation, they identify this adulterated or not, but it needs a technology like a lactometer to test whether it was adulterated or not. So that should be provided for the dairy cooperative, and also it's better to improve the value addition by using, for example, a churning machine. There is a mechanical churning machine, also electrical churning machine. So that should be provided for the cooperative to improve the value addition. That's my
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ababa from Ababa University, College of Agricultural Science, for your presentation and giving comments that, giving responses for questions raised by the audiences. I think this is our final paper. So, to say something, On my side, all the presenters have said that they were energetic and enthusiastic. The way they have presented, the way they have defended, it was attractive and knowledge-based. So I myself, I have learned many things. Hopefully, or similarly, you have also learned and gained knowledge regarding this conference. So finally, the next event will be carried out by the organizers, so I will give for time.
In the meantime, while going back to your place, Arena, food value, does Arena has food value? Had it been that way, it would have its name in foreign languages. Still, we have as Arena while you present your study. And I thought it was not as considered as formal food stuff in our case. Anyhow, before we wind up the program, I strictly impose on your generosity to incorporate the comments given and submit the material with full-fledged and competency. The next program will be the thank you message by the president of GAGE University College, and then after we may have certain recognition for those who have done their level best towards the realization of the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dear Wazir Sabda Ruth, CEO of GAGE Service and Trading Hospitality, dear online and offline participants, Honorable Justice and organizers of the 2024 National Conference, the students and stakeholders of GAGE University College. I am absolutely delighted to thank you all in the participation you have showed. Education is a process that results in change of behavior, realizing success. As a matter of fact, when a student turns their education power anytime and anywhere into positive influence of on an institution and or individual influence. The positive energy of often being about harmless and useful outcomes of humanity. As a diving board, a student needs good education for a great success. That's why the acronyms GAGE refers to great achievement with quality education. GAGE University College has been contributing a lot to the betterment of the life of significant number of citizens through education, training, research and community service for the past 22 years. As can be inferred from the positive national, regional and individual socio-economic impact of its graduates working in various institutions across the nation. The National Research Conference that being conducted today, among their things, is also an instant of the positive impact of our university college on initiatives of encouraging scholars to unleash their scientific for national development efforts. I am sure you all know that a nation without scientific discourse cannot be coped with the current challenge and opportunities of globalization and information technology. We will therefore go ahead with scientific research that is a tool for a meaningful change in our teaching, training, and community service, as well as implementation of a strategic plan. I hope you have enjoyed the conference today and will join us in upcoming research conference as well. Thank you very much for being with us, and I wish you all the best in your research careers. Thank you very much.
Once again, if you don't mind, Wizara Sarda, the executive COE officer, would you mind come to the stage and submit prizes to those who have been dedicated to this event?